Welcome to Part 37, my report on the McCarrick Report by Patrick Parson. We are starting Part C, information received from Cardinal O'Connor and Dr. Richard Fitzgibbons, 1996 to 1997, on page 117 of Chapter 10, Allegations Against McCarrick During His Tenure as Archbishop of Newark, 1992 to 1997. Now, Dr. Fitzgibbons, who we first met in Part 28, was the Pennsylvania psychiatrist commissioned by the Diocese of Metuchen to evaluate whether Priest 1, who had admitted to sexual abuse of 2 teenage males, was fit for returning to full-time ministry. During the 6-session evaluation, Priest 1 had told Dr. Fitzgibbons both that he had seen McCarrick engage in sexual conduct with another priest, and also that he had been sexually assaulted by McCarrick in a New York apartment. Because he was troubled by Priest 1's account, Fitzgibbons arranged for Priest 1 to speak by phone with Monsignor James Cassidy, a respected priest psychologist from the Archdiocese of New York. Monsignor Cassidy then reported the matter to Cardinal O'Connor, who then telephoned Bishop Hughes about Priest 1. Hughes told the Cardinal he did not know if the charges were true, but that he had little confidence in Priest 1's ability to present facts objectively, since he had a history of blaming others for his own problems. On October 3, 1996, Cardinal O'Connor wrote to Nuncio Cacciavillan that a priest from the Archdiocese of Newark, being considered for the episcopate, was too closely identified with Archbishop McCarrick, and also had been imprudent about his choice of companions. O'Connor recommended a delay in the promotion, although he did not mention misconduct by McCarrick. The priest in question was removed from the list of candidates. Still in October, at Cardinal O'Connor's request, Monsignor Cassidy, Dr. Fitzgibbons, and Priest 1 met. According to O'Connor, both Cassidy and Fitzgibbons appeared to be convinced that Priest 1 had been victimized by Bishop McCarrick. O'Connor felt their conclusions were not, quote, definitely persuasive, unquote. In March of 1997, Dr. Fitzgibbons went to Rome to share the information from Priest 1, and on March 11, 1997, Dr. Fitzgibbons delivered a signed letter to the Congregation for Bishops and addressed to Prefect Bernardine Cardinal Gantin. The letter stated in 1996 he had been evaluating a priest's ability to return to full-time ministry. He described the priest, who was Priest 1, as being unable to respond appropriately to aggressive sexual advances from an adolescent male. Up to this time, Priest 1 had no sexual difficulties in his priesthood and did not view himself as a homosexual. When Priest 1 was a seminarian, Bishop McCarrick invited him on a fishing trip. The first night, Priest 1 was shocked when he discovered Bishop McCarrick engaging in sexual relations with another priest. Upon seeing priest one, McCarrick asked if he wanted to be next, which the priest refused. Later, McCarrick and the other priest administered the sacrament of reconciliation to each other. How convenient. About a month later, McCarrick convinced priest one to come to an apartment in New York, which happened to have only one bed. Bishop McCarrick made numerous sexual advances upon the frightened young seminarian, which he refused. And now I'll give a direct quote. My evaluation indicated that this priest was a very gentle, loving, and somewhat passive young man who did not have any major emotional, mental, or personality disorders. Based on my clinical findings and the numerous interviews, I believe the patient's stated history of the inappropriate behavior of Bishop McCarrick. Unquote. Now, Chapter 10 ends with the less than encouraging statement, no evidence has been located indicating that any investigation was ordered or undertaken based upon the information reported by Dr. Fitzgibbons. So not even a signed report by a psychiatrist will rock the hierarchy boat. Let us rock the boat of our own obstinacy and sinfulness by reciting the Fatima prayer. O my Jesus, forgive us our sins, save us from the fires of hell, and lead all souls to heaven, especially those in most need of thy mercy.